Just realised that the way that I operate this camera is by muscle memory, because all of the buttons don't have like text on anymore, and I just like, you know when you look at something that you use all the time, and then you like try and figure out how you use it. It's been like, which hand do you hold a knife and fork in? Without having a knife and fork in your hand, it's difficult to say, right? Anyway, that basically just happened. I was trying to delete footage from yesterday's whatever video, my last video, and I'm like, I need to press the menu button. Which one of these is the menu button? And I pressed all three, and I was like, oh no, press one, didn't work, press the other one, didn't work. I was like, hang on, turn it off, look away from it, bam, 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 deleted. I managed to just drag myself up this morning quite well. I'm quite proud of myself, to be honest with you, because I did go to bed later than I was supposed to. I'm probably going to very much need a nap at lunch today, which I'm looking forward to as well. That's going to be great. Woke up at 2 and then spent an hour and a half to 2 hours without internet. So all I did was like render out a video, and I was like trying to do some stuff with work stuff because my laptop was like ready to rock and roll with it. And I didn't get very far with that either, because then it needed NPM installs and I needed the internet for that, and I'm like, god damn, what am I supposed to do without an internet connection, man? Fortunately it came back, so I sorted out my video, and I've just been going through identity server configurations so that I can sort out the login and all of that kind of stuff. I'm using like a slightly different API and architecture to the way that we used it the last when I set this up. I've set up identity server twice, and it's neither of those two configurations. So I'm just like going through making sure that I've got everything right, and I've got like the architecture and how all the tokens flow around and all that stuff nailed. And I think I'm ready for it now. So I have the added complexity of trying to manage the added complexity of trying to manage all of this in Mongo instead of in SQL. So instead of just like running a SQL script or building a schema in using Entity Framework, I have to like use, what I'm going to do is like drive it in with the code and then create my own scripts externally, because I don't want the code to be generating clients and resources that will only exist on dev and all that kind of shit. Yeah, that's been good fun, trying to figure out my barriers as well. I had something else I needed to tell you. Can you remember? Anyway, it's nearly 5:45. I should be going back and having a bit of a sleep. I don't actually think I showed you, but that was the pillow that I got, by the way. It's like a big ball where you can like put your hands inside it as well. It's like a big hand warmer thing. I did get the smaller of the two, but I'm thinking that I might go for the bigger one, because this doesn't even fit in my drawer, so I may as well get the big one. I had to pick the smaller one because it would fit better, basically, but it doesn't fit, so I may as well get the bigger one, which is more comfortable. So let's do that. I see them all the time at service stations, so I had to Amazon it. But yeah, so I'm thinking about swapping it in and getting a bigger one instead, but we'll see. We'll try it one more time today. So this morning I had my nap. I woke up naturally 30 seconds before my alarm went off. And I was like, oh, I'm awake. Oh, I feel like I must have slept really long. I've slept through my alarm. Turned over, alarm is like 10 seconds away from timing out, and I'm like, oh my god, I nailed it, boys. That was like the best nap I've had since doing this process. So I'm hoping that I am actively, properly for the first time, starting to transition into this, which is going to be good. And then maybe be able to have a nap at lunch on my new pillow. I've decided to upgrade. I'll be taking my that one back. It's just a little bit too small. It's just not quite head sized, you know. Otherwise, today was an absolute write-off. Being like torn apart from lots of different things. Like we did a deployment, we had to do changes. I did like an interview, and then I was like trying to help some people with their thing, trying to help some people with that thing. Just getting like torn from person to person to person. And it basically did like nothing all day. I think I basically catnapped, as a sense of like having like 5-minute like here there in my 30-minute nap session, well 20-minute nap session, but I give myself, depending on how tired I am, I give myself a certain amount of time to like burn into the nap. And I had a good nap as well on the way home, when I got home, on the way in the car. Yeah, so otherwise I'm feeling quite tired now, but Yeah, I think like in general, this last session between like when I get home at like 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, that's when you're like you're most tired. Before deep sleep again, before it like gets back into it. But I think it's going well. I think it's going well. I've been in a bad mood today because it's been quite bad. But yeah, I will be sorting out my pillow. It should be coming on Saturday, so I'll be able to see it at home and try it out here first. But yeah, not quite. So what I'm doing is going for one that's a little bit bigger. It's about 10 centimetres bigger. So it's like 5 centimetres on either side. It's a bit taller. It's a bit chunkier. So I think it's just a little bit too small, you know. So it's not quite comfortable. It's kind of putting your head on something instead of like being more pillow-like. Does that make sense? No. Something I have noticed is that when you have like a bad day and then you don't really sleep, and then you wake up like 3 hours later, for example, like I do, if like that kind of carries over, you don't have that like, oh, I go to bed and the fucking day's over and then it's job done. So it kind of feels like the same day. That's the weird thing about like this kind of sleeping pattern, is it never really feels like the day changes because you're not really asleep for long enough. If that makes sense. I did like an hour and a half of programming. Didn't really get very far. I like defined the schema for clients and stuff in the domain. By defined I mean like configured it. Like it was already defined. I just set all the values on it and sorted out all that stuff for the identity server. Now in theory all I need to do is now register the MVC against it and just go the other way. But I'm like, this is unproductive time. There's no point keeping a timer against this and pretending it's productive. So I've been like, played a little bit of Doom, played some Hearthstone. I'm now going to read for about half an hour before like winding down for my nap. Oh, today feels like a proper winter day. It's really cold. It's like really nippy. I've got my coat on. It's buttoned up. Really, I should have brought a scarf. God damn, I love weather like this. This is like maybe because of the weather I might have to treat myself to a hot chocolate today as well. We'll see about that, won't we? Oh, I don't know. I always say that though. I always walk down here and go, oh. That alarm's on, by the way. I always walk down here and I'm like, oh, I could get hot chocolate today. And then I always talk myself out of it because I'm a tight son of a bitch. And I'm definitely not going to get one because I've just got paid today. So I'm like aware of how much money I've got and how much I don't want to spend this month. In fairness, Bath is a pretty beautiful city this time of the year. Drop my owl back, returning it so that tomorrow my new bigger owl is coming, so that's going to be good fun. All the students are looking at me weird because I'm vlogging. A pretty good day today. There's quite a lot of like discussions about like how we're going to structure the domain and a couple of things about like we finished off testing a user story and got that all merged through. Got another one in ready to rock and roll and all that kind of good stuff. It was just like a good day. Wasn't necessarily got like a lot done per se, but we're not like new stuff done, but we managed to start it. But we just managed to just tick off things, you know what I mean? One of them days we just like tick, 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 happy days. Yeah, so otherwise I came back, just been chilling with the babe. So bedding at the moment, well about to be, because we gotta get up in the morning still. Just because it's the weekend don't mean you get time off. I need to sort out identity server stuff. I've had a good day today, so I should be able to wake up in the morning and actually be in a productive mood. It was going so well. Alright guys. Got a bit of an upgrade look. For size comparison, it's like bigger than my laptop now. So we just picked up this bad boy today. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot flatter as well. I don't know whether it's because of like the way it was packaged or whether or not it would like plump up into a circle, but probably not because I'm going to put my head in it. It's so much more comfortable than the other one was. It's just a lot more like pillow-like, I guess, because it's probably bigger, you know? Look at that, look. What a little ladder roof. Pretty pumped about this. Pretty pumped about it. Can't wait to try it out on Monday. So, like I say, I messed up my sleeping plan. I always seem to mess it up at the weekend. I haven't done any of my naps today either, which probably also isn't very clever. We had a nice long day. We had a walk down into town. We did a bit of shopping. We had a look around for stuff. I didn't get anything, I don't think, apart from food. And then we came back and sorted out some other like home stuff, like blobbing around to other shops and things, trying to sort out all of our errands as much as possible in one day, although we do have shopping tomorrow instead of Monday. That's going to be wild. I'll try and do something with Beth in bed Monday night and they can't do any other night, so that is why. Otherwise, I'm at that point now where I've got identity server configured and my MVC talking to it, potentially, and I've just got to like hammer through the configurations and just be like, why? Otherwise, we watched Stranger Things. Started watching Stranger Things season 2, episode 1. It's probably going to take us a good 2 months to finish it, so don't worry about it. We had a really nice dinner because we got one of those like 2 dine for 2 meal deal things from Marks and Sparks, and it was delicious. We had 2 sirloin steaks, some like roasted potatoes, and some pudding, and then we threw in some corn on the cob. It was delicious. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We also got a free bottle of wine as well. But my theory with those kind of meal deals is that actually you don't really get a saving. You just get a free bottle of wine. And for people who don't, like we have, literally in here right now, 6 bottles of wine there. We just finished this one. So previously we had 7, and then here we've also got like a bit of champagne and some spirits as well. So for people like us, having this is actually a bit more of a burden than... If you're not bothered about the wine, it's not actually a deal. But anyway, that's by the by. It was really nice though, it was like genuinely delicious. For £10 as well. It's pretty good, with pudding. Not bad. I mean, look at this man. The other one, like, I had to worry about my head falling off. Not now. I can even sleep on belly, because belly's big enough. Look at that. Problem being it doesn't sit properly. You know? Because of... it kind of rolls forward like that, you see? See what I mean? Nailed it, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what the best thing is? The clocks have just gone back, so we've just got another hour up, boy. Oh my god. Yes! 4.5 hours of programming done. Well, 4 hours and 20 minutes. And I finally got sign-in sorted. It's literally going through like different configurations and then just trying to sign in. Exception. What's this exception? Is it supposed to be an exception? Is it actually valid? Okay, how do I set that up? I'm like trying to design and build these like scripts so I can set up the Mongo database with everything that it needs, and then every time it flicks an error and I'm like, am I supposed to see this error? Do I want to see this error? Do I need to either stop the error occurring or do something to like facilitate what the error wants? But got there. Christ on a bike, got there. Also the last little bit as well, I was struggling with sign-in certificates. I was getting a bit bamboozled because I didn't actually have a sign-in certificate on my computer, so I had to reinstall iOS Express and stuff to get one. I was actually using one from DocumentDB, which just so happened to be installed. God damn, that was so fucking... oh, that's so good. So now I've managed to successfully... I still want to be able to do signing out, I haven't done that yet. So I've managed to successfully register a new user, sign them in. They're onto the main portal. We can now just spread around and do everything else. Oh my god. It's like a big section is now like, you're in, you can do stuff now. I mean that I've got like a lot of scaffolding and stuff to set up now because I've got like a load of different microservices to spin up, but it means I'm actually doing things that are actually worthwhile. Like the security service is worthwhile, but god damn, it's taken me a long time. Jesus. Like midday and I should totally get dressed, but I've just also successfully logged out and logged back in again. So I've also got that in as well. Happy days. We've just been shopping, and you know what? Right, I'm pissed. I was jazzed before I went shopping because of all of my work, my programming, but now I'm pissed. Right, just bought some loo roll, glamorous. 16 pack, all white. Right. They used to sell an 18. That's one we used to buy. And it was just smaller. I believe it was like 3, like this is the old one, what we had there. There, look, 18 pack, literal proof on that sticker there. This is Brexit, ladies and gentlemen. And now, I'm not happy about this. Yeah, Bubba?
I think you should take some juice to Cornwall because there won't be any otherwise.
Do I have to take the horrible tasting juice?
No, you can take the new one, but I'm just saying.
Oh, because they went...
oh,
I might have to pick up some fruit juice while I'm down here as well.
Yeah, well, we'll be going shopping.
Oh yeah, cool. Anyway, I'm pissed off at... that's how it should have been. So, I can now move on to something a little bit more important. And I think the first piece of the puzzle is to do the API gateway into my domain. I need to add that to the security service. It's like a little bit different. Oh no. Oh yeah. I actually have to replicate some data across. Oh no, have I created an event for that already? Either way, what I'm now looking into then is whether to do an API gateway that is basically just a proxy, or whether to be a little bit more clever and use something like GraphQL to build an API. I want to look into GraphQL. I haven't really used it all that much before. In fact, I've never used it. It's like it's really powerful. It's a really powerful thing. It's just whether or not it's kind of suitable. I guess no, it is. It's really suitable for my domain because there's going to be so much data in my platform that building a REST API on top of it just doesn't really make sense. I think, to be honest with you, it's going to be one of those things that kind of needs a bit more thinking about. Because I thought about this a long time ago, and then I've just kind of dropped it off. But what I'm basically thinking about is having one GraphQL server that just sits in front of either other GraphQL servers or REST endpoints, so that when you talk to the API gateway, it's able to just collate, like it describes a domain of the entire platform, and the microservices are therefore able to just describe their domain instead. So what I think I might do is generate my parties microservice to store my user information. I just need like message bus for that for now. Doesn't need a REST endpoint. And I need to start looking into the GraphQL and when to use it and why, and how it works and how you talk to it and how you make it do things behind the scenes. All that fun stuff. There is no reason why I can't have both. I was imagining a world where I'd have REST and something else because I wanted something else to be able to push data out. So my API gateway wouldn't necessarily just be one thing. But there is also something to be said about being able to just use one thing to just talk to the entire platform. I think getting data out of it is just going to have to be a individually managed thing. You're not going to go via an API gateway because I'm going to be talking to you via some kind of webhook, or I think I designed a webhook, but SignalR looks like it might be a better choice for me due to the data that's like driving out. But I reckon I really want to use GraphQL. It's whether I need to have proper research into whether or not it's actually a good idea. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to make sure that my message is going out to say that I've created a new user, which I'm pretty confident it is. And then once that has gone out, I'm going to add a subscriber to it from a party service, which is going to sit, listen to it, and then it's going to create a Mongo database collection for it with a load of empty data. And then there's going to be a portal where you can like put in all of your deets and stuff. In that world where that microservice then becomes responsible for storing all of your personal information, security services responsible for storing all of your security-based information, party service does everything else. And then we're going to build a code service, which is going to be fun. I've got a systems architecture for it, but that's where I want to get to. But I'm going to do this now on the basis that I don't know about this GraphQL thing yet. 6 o'clock, and I've just realised my watch is wrong still, and I've logged 9 hours of programming today, which is pretty fucking decent. I've got all the message buses all going along. All is good there. All I need to do is now consume it, save it into that database, and then when you enter the platform, your like login information is completely separate from your actual like users information, and that like lives within the domain of that microservice and stuff like that. I've just got like some Pluralsight videos to watch on GraphQL and all that malarkey, but that's what I want to look into. I also might look into some Angular stuff as well at some point. We have like this learning tool thing that I was supposed to ask for access to ages ago, but now I've got it, I can actually look up stuff like Angular and all that kind of stuff, and instead of having to devote time to playing with it, I can just kind of watch videos on it and then figure out whether or not I need to have a play with it instead of devoting hours to playing with stuff. Anyway, this does seem to be quite a little bit like it's a lot quicker to get up and running. It's a lot more normal, I think. I feel like there's quite a lot of like just stuff to manage with GraphQL. You've got to like manage like all the models and the queries and things in a way which you don't really have to do for REST. But yeah, I need to watch a video on it basically. Everything I've seen so far, like you've got to basically. I mean, I guess you have to do that for REST as well, really. But you have to like kind of define an object model and ways to query it, and then that has to be passed down to the client in some way so that they know what to call. But really you just present like one endpoint, and that endpoint just goes, hey, call me. Like, I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it because it's an interesting proposition, I think. Like I say, the question is like how complicated. Like this scenario is like the scenario we've got to work at the moment. We're doing like a search. We're doing like searches and displaying details basically. The search requires less information than the details, whereas in this world you just generate the object and then you just pick the fields you want and then that's your query. Whereas in the other world you kind of have to generate like two objects, two different endpoints. You call in different ways, but the GraphQL thing, you've just literally got one endpoint. It takes the document and it goes done. It's one of them things where you don't know until you've spun with it. You've spun one up and you've had a damn good try with it. Otherwise, it's been great now for TV. Blue Planet 2. Fucking love Blue Planet stuff. And a bit of Louis Theroux. Everyone loves a bit of Louis Theroux. And yeah, otherwise, had a lovely nap. And now thinking about heading off to bed. Which does mean bringing this video to an end, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for watching. We finished a nice good old milestone, which I'm super happy about, and it is time to churn on with some actual stuff. Although there's still like a little bit of scaffolding to set up. Although I do reckon that I'm probably one of the fastest people. Like, I can spin up a microservice so fucking fast now. So I'm like thinking about ways. I've got a little bit of infrastructure to do because I need to generate this API. Once I've investigated the ways of doing that, whether it's GraphQL or REST, I know how to do it with REST, so I think I might just have a plump in with Graph, see how it goes. Or what I might do is build REST onto the back end like microservices, and then use a GraphQL like hub that can then query across all of them, and then from there, if it looks like it works, I can then pick the microservices in where they'll get the most benefit from moving to GraphQL, and just hit them off in turn, or I could just drop the API gateway and smack on a REST one instead, and I've lost nothing. I think that's the most pragmatic way of doing it. Like I say, at the moment it's not all that bad because I'm just generating the back end services and then I can thingy. But that's the plan there. It's going to be a party in the park. But yeah, so I've got to be storing customer information, personal information, then I've got to be doing the idea I've got for the code under test, which is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I've got some good ideas about like how to like leverage things like MongoDB and all this kind of stuff to like properly drive through, and Git and all that kind of malarkey. It's going to be, I'm so excited. I'm past the gruel of the security stuff, and I can actually start doing like business logic. Oh shit. Yeah, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise, I had my naps today, as normal. So yeah, pretty. I'll catch you later. I don't know what to say. I need to change my watch. It's the wrong time still.